Hello, this is D1 Post, and today I'm making the first episode in the Draft League series. This Draft League is being hosted by the same people as the Type Tournament, Coralax and 2CAD, Tyler. And in this episode, the first one, I'll be documenting what my team is, why I chose some of my picks, and then we'll go into the first game. So, first and foremost, here's my team. I kind of wanted to pick a bunch of Pokemon with just generically high stats. So, of course, my first pick is going to have to be Mega Floette. And something to note is that you can only have two Pokemon that are capable of Megaing. So, if you pick Garchomp, that is one of your Megas. Even if you don't Mega that game, it is your Mega. So, I really wanted that fairy ground coverage, and I know what I want. I want an earthquake spammer, but I can't have Garchomp, so my next best bet is Crocodile. However, Crocodile's not that popular of a Pokemon, so I can hold off on that. I want another strong Pokemon next. And the thing with Floa is you have all these strong options. You have the Calm Mindset, you have the Light of Ruin set, you have all that stuff. So what else pairs well with Fairy? Fire. Delphox also has that good spread damage that I love. It has Levitate upon Mega Evolving. It pairs very nice into the Crocodile, which I just so happen to get as my next pick. It's just so good. Like, these three are very strong, and Crocodile has Intimidate. There's going to be some physical attackers in here, some weird attackers. Crocodile really helps with that. And since no one else is going to be using any fairy types, aside from maybe Primarina, I'm just good. And we're already specially bulky on these three. I may as well have the physical bulk as well. So this is a three Pokemon core. I wanted something that could boost all of them. Preferably something that gives speed control, some disruption. So I think that's a pretty nice thing. I chose Life Party. And as you can see, you see some weird stuff. You can go for a Fake Out Encore Fake Tears set. That just nukes anything. You can go for a T Wave. You can go for what other moves does it have? You can go for a Nasty Plot if you're feeling frisky, a Yawn, a Trick, all that stuff. It's a really good Pokemon, especially in a draft league with that Prankster ability. It's really, if it has any attacks, it's probably going to be Foul Play because look at those stats. They ain't good. But as but for what it needs to do, it does really well. And I kind of picked it out the spur of the moment. I really wanted Roto Wash so I could have a fire water that kind of deal. But someone already picked that, so I guess I have to choose my part now. Next, I wanted speed control, and what good speed control this is. Now, Noivern, it has Tailwind, it has Super Fang, it has Sunny Day, it has Substitute, it has Draco Meteor, it has anything you want, and it's immune to Earthquake. His special attack, not that high, but when you have Super Fang, it really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. It's just a very decent Pokemon. Oh no. Yeah. Then, because no one picked it, I had to go with Palafin. Remember? Big stats, big damage? Yeah. Everyone knows what Palafin does. It will win games, I'm imagining. Like Wave Crash, Close Combat, Jet Punch. Like, come on. It's just that good. And then I kind of didn't know what to do next. But because this is a draft league, Ditto becomes so powerful. I can pick one of their Pokemon. What do you do then? What do they do then? They got nothing. You can go for a Focus Sash stat, you can go for a Choice Scarf stat, you can go for leftovers if they're bulky, if you know they're going to bring a bulky Pokemon. You can do whatever you want with Ditto. It's just it's just great for this format. And then finally, Sylveon moves. You can go for a Yawn set, you can go for a Calm Mind, you can go for Baton Pass with that Calm Mind. And since you're using Detect and not Protect, come on. Imprison's not gonna work. It's not gonna do anything. You can do all that stuff. Quick Attack's also here. Weather Ball's cool. Roar is annoying. You have all that stuff with Sylveon. And Sylveon, Pixelate, Fairy Feather, Hyper Beam. I mean, yeah, let's just go with Hyper Voice for now because Hyper Beam's 90% accurate, and I don't like clicking not accurate moves. I don't like Light of Ruin, even though I've never missed Light of Ruin in my life. I hate it. I hate clicking it. But when you have Fairy Aura and all those multipliers, Sylveon's just busted. It's just that good. It's that guy, that girl. Sylveon is just a very nice to round things out. So yeah, there's the team. It has really good spread damage, really good burst damage, some phenomenal supports. I don't know how they let me get Palafin, Ditto, and Sylveon on one team because these three were some of the last picks. Why did they let me get this? So now we're going into the opponent's team. So something I forgot to mention is that all of our teams have a team name. So I have the document open right now, and my team is, let me go to the League Members tab. My team is the Austin Lay Fan Club, in respect to Austin Lay. And we have a greatest wish, one turns three. And my opponent for my opponent this week is it was Wiki Leaks, and his greatest wish was cigarettes. I don't know. I don't know what to do with that because there's a prize for this draft league. It is either A, you get a Floette, Eternal Floette, or if you already have one, I'll give that to second place, and I'll give first place a shiny Pokemon. They don't get to choose. I'm giving them a shiny Pokemon. You can kind of guess what I'm going to be basing that shiny off of. You can guess what I'm basing that shiny off of. I don't know what to do with cigarettes. I don't know. I can't. Let me go over to my their team, Wiki Leaks. So they have a Runerigus, Mosshold, Gudra, Serena, Talonflame, Feraligatr, Gardevoir, Oranguru. Now, this team has Tailwind and Trick Room. That's annoying. And that Oranguru is also annoying because it has a move called After You, which if you don't know, international champion, NAIC champion in the juniors division, he used this. It was so annoying. And with Gardevoir having Hyper Voice and being able to Mega, that's Hyper Beam. That's not Sylveon. Hyper Voice. Hyper Voice, Pixelate, yeah, it's just a lot to deal with. This for Alligator is also strong. I'm not really worried about it as much, but let's be real, it's one-shotting Float. That's a 160 attack stat. And then that talent flame. I can probably get a Paladin Jet Punch into it, so that's good. And Lipard can really neuter a lot of this team. I'm probably not going to go for taunts. It'll probably just be Thunder Waves and stuff. But this thing's here. It has Queenly Majesty. I can't just let Palafin take over the wheel, because this will stop it. This is one of the big checks. Everything else on the team, fine, I can deal with it. It's nothing. It's light work. It's this. It's this. I don't even care about the Mosshold. It doesn't do anything. Follow me. I have my three big attackers have spread damage. Mosshold isn't helping. This is helping. And the last thing, the big thing, the big one in the house, Gudra. You see those stats? My team is full of special attackers. A lot of Ruin or a Hyper Beam will not take this thing out. So I'm bringing Ditto. If they get some shelters off, cool. I bring Ditto in, copy those, we're good. If they don't bring it, then I'm probably going to copy the Gardevoir or the Feraligatr. That's kind of just what I need to do, because if I'm bringing Ditto for one of these things, then yeah, I'm probably going to need whatever is on Lipard to handle this Gudra, whether it be Thunder Wave, Encores, or whatever it may be. But yeah, there's my team. Well, there's their team. This is the Wiki Leaks. So time to move on to my team breakdown, what I actually brought to the game. Okay, so for this battle, I wanted to go in with strong attacks, really strong attacks, stuff that even the Gudra can't survive. So I really wanted to bring Floa, Light of Ruin, and Sylveon here just to benefit from that Fairy Aura. And Lipard's Fake Tears, that's also really good. It helps both Sylveon and Floette just do that damage. And additionally, we have two Fairy types, which really makes me think that they're not going to bring Mega Feraligatr. Either that, or they're going to be using some weird tech option that you just never see in a real game. Delphox is here because it resists both of Mega Gardevoir's stats. It can't be Psychic and it can't be Hyper Voiced. It also has Encore, just in case that they go for a Calm Mind route. We're going to Encore them turn 1. I'm someone who does stuff like that. And then Palafin's here, standard set, good attacks. I do want to Jet Punch that Talon Flame at least once, because that priority handle is just horrible. It's horrible for me. But also, priority moves on this team is just a must. Then we have Ditto, Proscarf Ditto. Basically, I'm going to either A, copy the Gudra, or B, copy the Gardevoir. That means more spread damage, or I just survive everything they draw me. I like that. Then we have Yawn and Sylveon. It's just, if I get the Yawn off, that's perfect. They either need to switch, they should switch, or B, they go to sleep and they have to take a turn off. Yeah, Yon's good. Then light part, Victor's, fall play, protect, fake out, standard stuff. Good stuff. My flaw is 3 moves. Well, triple fairy, because I don't know if they're gonna bring Gudra. I'm probably gonna need a lighter ruin off. I don't know what's gonna happen. That it's just crazy out here. Now I did calc for both Floa and Sylveon to live a live a heavy slam from Gudra. So that's not too big of a deal. Everyone watching the video, do not do this in a real match. Do not use this team. I'm not showing you the rental code. Reason being, you should not use this team. It's bad. But in this specific circumstance, in a draft league where you know what you're facing, it's good enough. And Hyper Voice Dazzling Gleam in front of it already is probably going to click Trick Room. Yeah, that does damage. So yeah, on to the set.
Alright, let's get this started. So we're facing down both Megas, dual Mega, as I predicted. They will be going for a Moss Hold follow me route. So I could likely go Sylveon. What did I prepare on this thing? Fake out. Oh, they didn't even bring Serena. They didn't bring Serena. They didn't bring Serena. They didn't bring Serena. They didn't bring Serena. Bro. Bro. Look. I want them to bring for Alligator. I really, truly want them to do it. That would be my love. That would be love. I would love that to happen. That would be beautiful. Bring for Alligator game 2. I'm bringing all of my fair. I'm bringing all of my fairies game 2. All right, Wiki, let's go. So what's this lead? Talonflame Gardevoir. We're going for Delphox Liepard. We're starting with a fake out onto Talonflame and a Mega Evolve into Heatwave. This will do a bit of damage onto the Gardevoir. I honestly shouldn't have faked out the Talonflame, but I'll be able to get some good damage later. Honestly, Fake Tears into... Ooh, a Psychic into the Talonflame would be huge. Alright, perfect, perfect. Oh, good stuff. They predict the Protects here. They predict the Protects. Now here's what I want to do. They didn't go the Gudra route. Which is kind of making me want to go Fake Tears Heatwave. That's really making me want to go Fake Tears Heatwave. So Fake Tears into Gardevoir. Heatwave will hit both. It'll do a bit of damage into the Talonflame, but that's not what I'm here for. This won't kill. This just won't kill, I know that much. Sylveon's going to take a bit of damage. I'm imagining that they try to hit into Delphox. Hyper Voice comes out. It does barely anything. Now this Heat Wave will connect. I'm going to... Alright, cool. Oh. I'm just gonna have to do the sequencing. Do they have Calm Mind on the Guard War? Likely. That sucks. I'm gonna need to stall with Protects. I'm the one who introduced this to the game, so I'm not too sad, not mad. Well, I'm sad about it. I'm disappointed. Very disappointed. But, you know, this is just what happens sometimes. That's for Alligator. For Alligator comes in. Okay. Alright, so I'm just going to have to go for the big damage angle. Do I have anything for that? Not really, not really. Alright. What I can do is fake tears the Feraligatr and switch out into Ditto. That's a bad move entirely. But, like, what else do I have? Genuinely. I want to preserve my Delphox, and this is kind of the only way for me to do that. Fake Tears comes out, and I'm going to Hyper Voice next turn. This does quite a lot of damage. I am worried. I am scared. But now Ditto comes out. Now I have a free Hyper Voice. And I get to check their moves on the Guard War, which is huge. Hyper Voice, Psychic, Protect, Trick Room. Alright, so I just go for Hyper Voices, and honestly, I'm not faster. I honestly think that if I double Hyper Voice, then they kind of have to, oh, the Feraligatr just drops. Iron Tail comes out, yeah, my Ditto goes down. That sucks. I had no idea that was gonna happen. But, Iron Tail's on there. Feraligatr goes down. I'm going to have to use Delphox now. This is a 2v1. They're gonna have Talonflame up. My biggest, hugest bet is to just run the spread move. Honestly, Hyper Voice into Talon isn't horrible. I Heat Wave and Hyper Beam. Heat Wave, Hyper Beam, this will pick up. It just will. However, do I just Hyper Voice? Do I just take a Hyper Voice here? I don't want to reveal that I have Hyper Beam yet. They use Brave Bird into Sylveon. That does pick up KO. Yeah, that just sucks. I'm likely not going to be able to do much here. Now, this won't kill. Yeah, no kill. Hyper Voice, yeah, I'm not impressed. Yeah, that's game one. How do I adjust? Big hits. One thing I could do is bring Ditto front and center. I don't like bringing Ditto first. and I know I'm going to be dealing with that for Alligator. Lipard later sounds more accurate, and I do have Palafin. Actually, this is the reason why I brought Palafin to begin with. Now I know Sylveon takes a hyper voice. I can guarantee a protect. That's nice. Front load it, and my strategy this game is front load and pray. Like, Ditto is definitely coming in the back. Either that, or I just hyper voice the Talonflame, you have just Tailwind up. Muscle Gardevoir, okay, that's helping hand. That is helping hand, I know that much. I'm not that stupid. Yeah, I'm not that stupid. I'm not staying in here. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to... Can I yawn? Can I yawn? No. I'm going to hyper voice like a good boy. I should not have clicked that. I'm regretting my choice. I'm kinda hoping that... No, even if they Mega, that's just a misplay on my end. That sucks! Yeah, the reason is that switches happen before Megas, and even if you do Mega this turn, I just don't get anything out of it. And you're not going to Mega here. Oh, you do. Reason why I thought you weren't gonna Mega there is because why would you? Now my hyper voices aren't really gonna do a lot. That does half. So in theory, I could... What? Oh my god. I traced Pixelate. Hyper Voice. And I know that that's going to be a... Yeah, I know that that's going to be a little faster than me. Gardevoir uses Protect. Moss Hold is going to do something. What's that? What's Moss Hold doing? What is it doing? Did I use Hyper Voice? Yeah, it doesn't connect. Okay, but what are you doing? Pop Bomb. Okay, fair enough. That's heat. That's gas. I'm not opposed to Hyper Beam. I am not opposed to it. Because it will guarantee the KO. But the question is, do I care that much? And could I not just switch into... Oh, that's what I have in the back. Yeah, no, I just Hyper Voice here. So... now my Sylveon's Hyper Voice will pick up the KO. Yeah. Yeah, we're just singing here. Yeah. Now it's a 2v3, which I could realistically still lose this. The question is, do I have Palafin clean up or do I have Floette clean up? Honestly, having Sylveon and Floette on the field at the same time is just really strong. Feraligatr comes out, I'm going to Hyper Voice the Feraligatr. I'm going to Hyper Beam the Feraligatr. I'm not Hyper Beaming the Feraligatr. I'm going to click Light of Ruin. I'm not clicking Light of Ruin. I'm clicking Hyper Voice Moonblast. Yeah, Hyper Voice Moonblast sounds right. That sounds accurate. And now I have Palafin in the back doing something. Now, the problem with this play is I could have Light of Ruin. And that would have picked up the KO. It would have. Now, are they gonna Aqua Jet into Sylveon? Probably not. But they have some priority move coming in somewhere. It's just gonna hurt regardless. Like, let's say you have a liquidation that will kill. That will kill. Moonblast comes into Feraligatr. This doesn't kill. It does. Not. Whoa, that did a lot of damage. A Jet Punch will pick up. So, yeah. Moonblast goes into Talonflame, Jet Punch into Feraligatr. We just win here. Okay, that's game 2. How do I not screw up game 3? Brave Bird comes out, probably into Floette. Jet Punch will go into Feraligatr. Nice. Alright, that's game 2. Moonblast will just put Talonflame into... Ooh, there's no... It just doesn't live. It can't live. Jet Punch, yeah. They bring Serena next game. That sucks for me. Game 3. What are my Pokemon? Huh? Let me get back into the room. There we go. Alright, what are my Pokemon for game 3? I'm definitely bringing Palafin. And they're definitely going to make room for, you know, me trying to do Ditto stuff. But honestly, I know they're scared of that Feraligatr. I know they're scared. Do I bring Liepard? I honestly don't think so. I think I can just yawn with Sylveon. Ditto in the back is always nice. Liepard's hasn't really been doing anything. Sure, fake out, fake tears, that's all good stuff, but they're not doing anything. And if they bring Serena, they just kind of lose because they're bringing 2 support Pokemon. And when you're up against my hyper offense, 2 support Pokemon just doesn't cut it. So what are they leading? Probably for Alligator. Alright, Gardevoir, Talonflame. I do not believe that they're going to... Ooh. Here is something I can do. I can Jet Punch. Yawn. But I'm not going to. I'm gonna be disciplined. I'm going to protect, and I'm going to yawn the Gardevoir slot. Yeah, and now that you will go to sleep, I'm imagining the only attack that's going to come out is a Hyper Voice. That Talonflame shouldn't Brave Bird here. It should be Tailwind. Tailwind? Alright, Sylveon survives the Hyper Voice, I get the Yawn off, and I get to switch out my Palafin into Ditto, which will probably not be first, all things considered. Yawn goes off, I get a free Hyper Voice this turn, and honestly, Ditto, Hyper Voice. Ditto, Hyper Voice. Now I could Jet Punch or Wave Crash into the Talonflame. No, Talonflame's not really that big of a deal, and Hyper Voice will get rid of its potential Sash, so I'm fine. I don't need to worry. They don't protect, they honestly don't even switch. They stay in, they stay in. Now I take this Hyper Voice. I am a Mega Gardevoir. Brave Bird comes out into Gardevoir. That hurts a lot. Hyper Voice comes out. It will KO my Ditto, but their Gardevoir's, for one, asleep. And the Talonflame, well, everything's just in range. Everything's in range. And that Gardevoir is just asleep now. So I'm just in a really good position. Rollette's coming out. I will be chucking a Moonblast into that Talonflame. Do I even care? Honestly, I think I just throw spread moves. Yeah, I just throw spread moves. This Brave Bird is going to hurt. I'm not worried at all. Talonflame uses Protect. Okay, fair enough. The Gardevoir just gets off of the field. I will send the Hyper Beam into the Feraligatr though. It survives. That's bulky. That is bulky. I am on the back foot still. They still have one turn of Tailwind left. So I do want to get to a point where they have to decide. Now, I do want damage this turn. But I'm not going to be greedy. I'm not going to be greedy. I'm going to stall out this last turn of Tailwind and hopefully force them to use Tailwind next turn. Flare Blitz into the Sylveon, Liquidation into Iron Tail, goodness gracious, you're rude. You're just rude. Dazzling Gleam. Honestly. There really isn't anything you can do. So I'm kind of just in the position where I can throw out a Dazzling Gleam and a Hyper Voice. Yeah. Like, you have... Oh, you don't! That doesn't kill. But now what comes... Ooh, this Hyper Voice hurts. You died to the Hyper Voice. You just dropped. Ooh, no you don't actually... And it misses, yeah. You brought this in on yourself. Yeah, no. You brought Iron Tail. That's kind of on you. And now I have a Palafin in the back. No matter what you have there, you can't exactly defeat me. Serena, yeah, you're expecting a Palafin endgame. Which just didn't happen. I Moonblast and Hyper Beam. Moonblast, Hyper Beam. Moonblast comes in, it might, I think it kills actually. Yeah, that kills. Critical hit. Alright, first game of the Draft League is a win. I love that for me. Love it, love it, love it. GG's Wiki. That is a win for the Austin Life Fan Club against the Wiki Leaks. Thank you for tuning in to this week. See you next time. Next time I will be fighting. I don't actually remember. Let me look it up real quick. Who am I facing next week? Next week I will be facing the Rayquaza #1 team. So stay tuned for that. Bye bye.